What's up, YouTube? I posted one of my first ever true videos outside of a live stream event I did in this past year after years of just not posting. And I want to talk about why I'm not posting anymore. So let's dive right into it. So the video I posted recently was me just chiming in on the ethics discussion that Live Overflow and John Hammond had recently, and I just felt inspired to make that. I haven't felt inspired to make a video in a while, and that was one that I just wanted to make. I thought it'd be fun, and I'm glad I made it. It was fun, and I hope that it is a video that you enjoyed. If you haven't checked it out, feel free to go check it out. But I want to talk about why I'm not making YouTube videos really anymore. And it really just comes down to I never really wanted to be a YouTuber. You know, a lot of the people that have found my videos useful come from my OSCP Journey series. And at the time, I was just coming out of college. I was in my first ever InfoSec job, climbing up the ladder slowly but surely. Had just gotten promoted to kind of like a managerial role, and I got them to agree to pay for some of my certifications. And that was just a big goal of mine, was to get the OSCP. And I liked how a lot of other creators were doing these educational type videos for hacking. Like IPSec had just started the Hack the Box series at the time. That was super helpful. And I had been watching a lot of tutorials on, CTF write-ups and Vuln Hub write-ups and stuff like that, but they were all very crafted. It was very structured. Everything kind of made sense and led you to the solution. And I didn't want to make videos like that. I wanted to showcase my thought process and show how it really is learning this stuff. And at the time, I didn't know how to do a lot of it, at least not well. And I grew. I learned how to do it. I learned how to do it very well. I got my certification and kind of moved up from there. And honestly, after that, a lot of things happened. But one of the most important things happened was that I got the jobs that I wanted. I never wanted to be a YouTuber. I wanted to be a red teamer. I wanted to work in offensive security. I wanted to be a hacker and that be my career. And so I had a goal of having just a regular day job doing what I liked the most. And once I achieved that goal, YouTube just kind of fell off the map. It wasn't quite as important. Kind of at the end of 2019, early 2020, I had a huge fallout in my 8-year-long relationship. Don't want to talk too much about that, but essentially I dove into what I knew how to do best. I started making videos again. I found a good distraction, and that's when I came up with the idea to do the offensive security Udemy course, and it went amazing. It had great reception, and the goal with that wasn't really to get back into making videos so much as to kind of pursue this passion of educating others in this field. And I believed I was worth something for it, so I wanted to charge for it, and I did. And I did have some goals of releasing some open source material for it, and that's why I made kind of the offensive security series that kind of fell off. I stopped making it, stopped working on it, because people were so receptive to the course itself. I also had made the LLC that I constructed not too far before those events had happened, and then of course the aftermath of 2020, everybody knows about that. And I didn't really do anything with it. The reason I made that LLC was, in the worst case scenario, I thought, I have all these skills now. I know how the business works. I had been managing and leading incident response and penetration testing and offensive security for a small team. And I thought to myself, well, I'm just going to get a lawyer. I'm going to look at how these contracts need to work and start consulting myself. If I can't get a job in the industry quickly by myself, I'm done doing this job. I was working really late hours, responding to high-level incidents. By the time an incident made it to me, it was a big deal, and I wasn't sleeping great. I was just fatigued. It was a great learning experience for a first job, but it was too much and frankly just not paying enough. I liked the people I worked with. I liked my team, but I wasn't able to pay my team enough. I wasn't paid enough. It was just a shit show, if I'm being frankly honest. But I loved all the people and I loved the job, so I worked at it, and it provided a lot of great opportunities, but enough was enough. And so I prepped myself to move on from that, no matter the cost. If it meant starting my own consultancy, that's what I was going to do. So I did it. And shortly after that, I got a job. I got a job working for a company remotely doing offensive security stuff, and it was right in my wheelhouse at the time because I was doing a lot of DevSecOps stuff, kind of related to the Udemy course and automation, and still doing pen testing at the same time and getting a lot of cool insights in this particular line of work. And later on, I got a job doing full board, working for a regular offensive security consulting firm, and now I do it all. If it's in the realm of offensive security, I get opportunities to do that. My projects change every week, if not every 2 weeks to every month, just depending on how long the projects are. It's really engaging, really fun, and yeah, That's just kind of, I've reached the goal. I hit the milestone. I didn't have anything else to really worry about. And I'll talk a little bit about that more, but I have some talking points that I want to get through. I don't want this video to go on too long. But the other primary reason is it's hard. There are technical challenges in making YouTube videos. It is a full-time job, even if we're not talking about actual technical videos of the type that I'm making. Making creative content for YouTube of any sort is a full-time investment, or at least a significant time investment. It's not no time. And that's where I see like creators like Ipsec, he was churning out videos, and granted, maybe he knows some of the solutions to the boxes and they're prepped really well, but that still takes a lot of time. And then John Hammond kind of skyrocketed with his content. I felt like there wasn't really a need for my type of content anymore. All the bases were being covered by other creators who were doing a great job. And while I did fit into a sort of niche, I was in the right place at the right time, so to speak. I just didn't keep creating. I didn't improve upon the craft because it wasn't what I was interested in. Didn't want to be a YouTuber. It was just tough. It's hard to make those videos consistently and have a consistent upload schedule. And when I'm doing the work in a day job, once I reached the goal, I had no desire to kind of go on with that. So it's hard to make videos. It's a full-time thing. And then in my personal and professional development, and as far as professional development goes, I do this every day now. It's been years at this point, but I was doing it. I was doing the thing. I don't feel a need to post content anymore. The whole reason for the OSCP Journey series and a lot of the other videos that are more popular on this channel is because I was learning something. It's because I was going through a process to achieve something, and I was just sharing my journey as I went since the OSCP Journey. And while I did have a knack for teaching, and I still go and teach at local universities here and there, or wherever I'm called to kind of go teach, or speak at conferences, I still do that. I like doing that, but I try to do that very scarcely because it is time consuming. It takes a lot out of me. And I am working on a new course. If you've watched the ethics video already, you'll know about this announcement, but I do like doing that, and I want to continue to do that from time to time, but making regular YouTube videos is not what I'm doing here. And then as far as my personal development, I had a hard time going through these past couple of years. It was really difficult, and I don't want to dive into it too much, but I went through a lot of therapy, and I grew as a person, lost a lot of weight, and kind of found myself. And another thing about making these YouTube videos is, as far as creativity goes, I felt like I was kind of put in a box. I couldn't really be myself. I am not this uptight professional person. And at the time I was in a manager role. I was trying to impress people. I was trying to get jobs. I couldn't just rely on skill alone. I was having to network and really just not be myself. And I got tired of doing that. That was really, really bad. And on top of that, I had really bad imposter syndrome that I only got over in recent years. Now I know that I'm good at my job. I know that I am capable of doing this and will be. I know that I am an expert and a go-to person in this field. And that's just a product of having my work put out there and having my work reviewed by peers and putting out tools and research over the years. There's no argument to it. I know I'm good at what I do now. I don't need any more validation. That was hard to get over. And I did it. So that's great. All of that's great news. But again, it leads me to having no desire for this path because I felt like I was boxed into only being a teacher, only making educational content. I couldn't really be myself. My interest aligned somewhere else now. And I actually do still make content. If you are one of these people, I know there's like maybe 3 of you who have followed my YouTube channel, taken my course, and then sleuthed me out. You know that I make music. You know that I have a podcast that's all about mental health. You know that I am doing other stuff in the realm of security with my GitHub projects and stuff like that. And that I'm a more developed person. I get to be myself and do the things that I want to do. So I'm still posting content. I'm still doing creative stuff. It's just not related to hacking and security. And I like those things much better. So on the music side of things, and I'll link those things kind of below if you're interested in kind of following me on those platforms, feel free. I always love new fans and new listeners and all that kind of stuff, no matter what platform that you're interested in following. So I don't want to not be able to share that. But in reality, this isn't the kind of channel that those things easily cross-pollinate. I'm not sure really how I can make music promotion and promotion for a podcast that's completely unrelated to hacking and security relevant, because I have all of these passions simultaneously. This is me. This is a culmination of me. I am this super nerdy hacker guy. I'm also this super crazy party guy that likes to write music and play in a pop punk band and write this alternative hyper pop emo rock music or whatever. And I also care about mental health. I care about spirituality. I care about philosophy. I have a lot of other interests outside of just security. I'm a human being. I hope you do too. But it's not all about hacking. It's not all about career. Career is not my life. I just wanted to make sure I had a job that I enjoyed doing every day. So I didn't dread going to work. I wanted something that paid me well. I wanted something that made me happy to do when I go into work. And I got that. That's a blessing. Not a lot of people can say that, but I didn't want to make it my life. So I made sure that I explore these other creative outlets. And that's where my focus has been these past few years and will continue to be. And in particular, that kind of leads me to my next point, and that's regarding mental health. That's huge to me. I wasn't taking good care of my mental health. I was grinding all those hours back then, trying to achieve and gain the status of my career. And I don't regret the time I spent, but it did come at a cost. It came at a cost to my mental health, came at a cost to my relationships and friendships with people. It wasn't worth it in some ways, but in some ways it was. So I'm glad I did it because I achieved my goals, but I have to accept what it cost. And I want to implore that onto you to think about what this costs you to get where you want to be and make sure it's worth it to you. It's not bad. It's okay to pay the price and take the toll on for things, but don't overdo it. There's a way to do it better than what I did. I think if I knew what I know now, I could have done things much better, but hindsight's always 20/20, right? And that's kind of why I made the Echoes Box podcast, which is the podcast that I still create content for. I always have a monthly episode out, and I just share experience. The whole theme around it isn't really mental health so much as shared experiences. That's kind of the tagline for the episodes. And I talk about everything from mental health to music to my spirituality to hacking even sometimes on the podcast. I haven't really made an episode about that yet, but I'll talk about those kind of things because I'm talking about me. I get to fully express myself there. And it's not something this platform was really built to do. This platform was built for hacking and security education, and it will remain that. So all that to say, I'm not getting back into making YouTube videos. I'll still post them from time to time. This channel is not dead, but this isn't the revival of this channel. And I just kind of wanted to set the message to be firm, kind of set the record straight, so to speak, because I've sent mixed messages in the past. I've had all these ideas and thoughts that I was going to do, and that was the plan at the time, and they just didn't happen. And going forward, what's going to happen is perhaps I'll post a video on security every now and then. I would love to do more charity live streams. The reason I'm even making this video is because when I opened my YouTube analytics for the first time after not even looking at them in 3 years, I noticed that I had 8 new subscribers this week. People are still subscribing to the channel. People are still watching the videos. It's not a lot, but it's something. I still see the comments that come in, and I'll post a few of them up here, but it's really just, I can't provide the feedback that and the things that I wanted to the community the way I wanted to, because it's just not what I'm passionate about. I'm not passionate about being a YouTuber. I'm passionate about all the other creative outlets I have, and I am passionate about hacking. So every now and then, if I want to make a video, I will, but don't count on any upload frequency. Just enjoy whatever I do post. And if you want to support me, make sure you buy my content when it comes to like the Udemy courses and stuff like that. That's worked out great for me. The reason I do that rather than another instructional format is while Udemy does take a sales cut and it is a compromise, I actually am pretty hands-off. It's a way I can make a course, be an instructor, but be hands-off. I don't really have to answer any questions or do anything for my students unless there's a problem. And that's great. It's a very self-driven course. If that's kind of the thing for you, that's how I build those courses. It's formatted and structured in a way where all the content's there and it's there for you to learn, and I provide everything you need, but I'm not going to hold your hand while you're doing it because that's kind of how I learned. And that's how I teach to some degree, unless it's like an in-person thing. So if you want to support me, that's one way to do it. You can also support my music. You can support the podcast. I still technically have a Patreon. There's no rewards for it. You can go support there. There is the Injection merch store is still a thing. The LLC is not going anywhere. So with the LLC, while I can't consult because I work for a consulting company, I can use it to front all of my education content. And that's kind of what is being run by the LLC itself. So just kind of some transparency there on what's for and why it still exists. But yeah, so you can go to the merch store for Injection if you want to buy some merch. It's just regular Redbubble merch. If you want to support my music and my bands, you can go to sweltersounds.com. We have merch there. Find all our music on Spotify. All the links and stuff will be below. But yeah, so I'm not really making YouTube videos anymore. Like I said, the channel's not dead, but we're not really reviving it, so to speak. I'm not trying to grow it any further from here. So enjoy the content that exists. Look forward to whatever new content I do create in the future, but don't expect much and enjoy whatever you do get. Thank you for any longtime supporters, and thank you for any new supporters of any of my new creative outlets. I appreciate you nonetheless. And if my videos helped you learn anything or achieve anything in the past, that was the goal. I'm so glad that they reached you. Go subscribe to Live Overflow. Go subscribe to John Hammond and IPSEC. You probably already do. If you watch my channel or subscribe to my channel, you probably were already subscribed to them. But those are people I still watch every single day. So check all that out. All the information is going to be in the bio. And thanks for watching.